Good day, everyone, and welcome to Mindful Movement with AARP Alabama. I am your host, Margie Curry, and today's session is with our certified yoga instructor, Becca in Pello. And Becca has been practicing and teaching yoga such a long time for 20 years. Folks, we want to remind you that AARP empowers people to choose how they live as they age. AARP is a nonpartisan 501c4 organization that has over 420,000 members in Alabama. AARP's role is to advocate for those 50 plus and their families. AARP Alabama is committed to offering opportunities for people to stay engaged right from their home. The Mindful Movement series provides an opportunity for everyone to keep moving in the safety of your own home. Good morning, Becca.
Good morning, Margie. How you doing today?
Doing great today. Doing great. Doing great. What do you have for us today?
Oh, well, we're going to just try to take it through the whole body, do just a good general movement practice with the 30-minute slot that we have. But I tell you what, we
Okay.
are going to do to help us with this heat that we're having.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to introduce a breath practice that is designed to help sort of, at least temporarily for a moment, cool you down a little bit. All right. So I'll
Ooh.
be introducing that right at the beginning. It's a little bit fun as well. At least I think it is. It may make you feel a little bit silly the way you have to do your tongue in your mouth, but hey, we're all in our own homes, right? No one's watching.
Right.
So you can give it a try. So that's what I got on tap for us today.
All right. All right. All right. Everybody, please remember before you begin any exercise program that you should consult with your physician and make sure it's safe to participate. All right, Becca, let's get breathing.
Okay, let's get breathing. So, as I mentioned, it's pretty hot here in Alabama and lots of places across the country, actually. So, this is a technique called sitali. If we're using the yogic language, the Sanskrit language, it's a cooling breath practice. So, it's intended to, just cool the air that we're taking into our bodies so that when it sort of hits our chest and hits our lungs, it's a little bit cooler than it is, when it first enters our mouth. Okay. And that will help to sort of give our body a little sense of cooling down. So you can see what you think of it, right? So the technique involves breathing slowly in through the mouth, almost like you're drawing that breath through a straw. And by taking that breath slowly across your moist tongue, it cools that air off. So we'll be inhaling through the mouth on the inhale, and then we'll exhale through the nostrils. And there's a couple little things you can do to help ensure you get as much cooling effect as possible. If you're able to curl your tongue into a little tube and stick that tongue through the teeth a little bit, like so, then you're going to pull the breath across that curled tongue. Now, not everybody can do the curled tongue because it's really a genetic thing. It's not something you can just learn how to do, right? So you either can do it or you can't do it. If you can't do the curled tongue, then you turn your mouth, your lips into just a nice little circular shape so that you can kind of draw the breath in slowly across the tongue. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do it 5 times, 5 breaths in across the tongue slowly, and then exhale through the nose, and we'll just see what you notice. You'll probably feel the tongue feel a little bit cool, and maybe in the upper chest. So let's just give it a try. Have fun with it. Here we go. Slow pull in across the tongue. Again. Two more times. One more. Now just breathe in and out through the nose a few moments, but just see if you can notice a cooler feeling across your tongue and in your mouth. Maybe here in the upper chest as well. anytime we work with manipulating our breath through its passageways, we're getting some benefit in just understanding, connecting to our breath. So even if that breath technique didn't cool you off per se very much, and I don't, want anyone to think that this could substitute for good hydration, shade, and limiting your time outdoors. We need to do all of those things first. But this breath can be a little bit of a fun one to play around with and to see if you can sense that cooler sensation, at least in a few places in the body, when you do that pulling of the breath across the tongue. All right, so let's go ahead and move into our movement practice. Let's start with some warming up here seated in the chair. We'll do some standing in a moment, all right? So roll those shoulders forward and up, back and down. All right, about 3 more of these shoulder rolls. Nice little massage for the upper back. Good. Shoulders stay back and down a little bit. Sit up tall. Turn the head side to side, right and left. I'm going to just remind you, all your movements can be tempered to what feels right for you. So they could be bigger or smaller or slightly different shape or angle to work with what your body feels okay with. All right. So let's make a half circle. Chin over towards one shoulder and then draw it across the chest to the other shoulder and then reverse and go back across the way you came. And again. Good. 2 more times. All right, and bring that head up to center. Bring the hands up in front of your heart. Interlace your fingers and turn the palms out. Get a little stretch on the hands. And go ahead and round that upper back somewhat. Drop the chin towards your chest. And then let's see if we can sit up tall and bring those arms up as high as you comfortably can. Stretch up. You can separate your hands if you need to, or you can keep them together and try doing a little side to side stretch. Reaching up through the hands, the arms, to get lots of length in your spine and your sides as you take this side to side movement. All right, back to center. Let the arms drop down. Feel that blood flow back into your hands. Give your wrists a couple of circles. Feel those pops and creaks that might be in the wrists. Go the other direction. Good, and then bring the arms up about shoulder height. Inhale. Exhale and turn. Just turn to one side. Go ahead and let the hands come down to help hold you in place a little bit. A hand to the knee, a hand to the chair maybe. Take another breath in and out. And then inhale it back to center. Spread those arms out. Exhale, turn the other way. Again, sit tall. Take a full breath as you're here in the twist. Good. Unwind and come back around to the front. All right, now let's warm up the legs a little bit. Let's do a little bit of marching to start with. So one knee up and then the other, and sit tall. Try not to lean back. You can hold on to the chair. That'll give you a little support, or you can challenge yourself to take the arms out and up to make this a little more demanding on your core muscles. Good. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Drop those arms down. Let's kick and bend one leg at a time. So just one leg, bend at the knee, straighten at the knee, go back and forth. Get that knee joint warmed up. Back of the thigh, also getting a little action there. Front muscle on the thigh as well. Gonna go ahead and put that foot out there, put the heel down on the ground, and point and flex your foot a few times. So just pulling those toes up, pointing them down, back and forth. Good. Good. And then release that foot to the floor. Let's do the other side. So straighten and bend a few times. Notice how that knee feels. Is it the same as your other side, or is there something different here? These are just good things to pay attention to. You don't have to have an answer. You don't have to fix a problem. Just notice what's going on in your body. This helps your body take better care of itself when you're attentive and aware. All right, keep that foot forward or down on the ground. Point and flex that ankle. Good, and then release it. All right, let's come up to standing so that we can move, especially through the hips and the back a little bit more. We're going to still use our chair, though. This makes for a great prop. It makes the practice, just we can all do it together at a lot of different abilities because you don't have to get down on the floor. Now, if you want to get down on the floor, feel free to go down and do this next little bit in hands and knees on the ground. But we're going to use the chair if you like and put the hands in the seat of the chair, walk the feet back. So it's kind of like we're in that tabletop position. We're just not all the way down on our knees. All right, so let's warm up the back, the spine, move it into that cow and cat shape, the rounded up towards the ceiling, so like a scaredy cat or Halloween cat. And then soften the knees and lift the chest and take the tailbone up, kind of coming into more of a swayed back. And just go back and forth. Again, remember, you're making the movement that you can make. It may not look the same as my movement or someone else's. As long as you're getting some movement in your body, then you're being productive. Remember to let those knees be soft and kind of let them flow back and forth. It'll give you just more slack to move your pelvis and move your spine. All right, now let's step one foot towards the chair and the other leg a little bit further back. Now, how far back? That depends, right? You have to choose. You can make it a short stance. That may feel best. You can make it a medium stance. You could even make it a really long stance if you wanted to, okay? All right, and then we're going to just shift back and forth. This front knee bends and the front knee straightens. Or goes as much as it can towards straight. Now, you can keep your hands on the chair, or if you want to try for something a little more challenging for the balance and the stability, you can bring your hands up to your hips and come off of the chair and keep doing that bending and straightening. All right, about 3 more. All right, now let's everybody bring the hands back to the chair. Step it back into tabletop. So that's that, hands and knees type position. Round your back. Flatten it out. Back and forth. Good. Step that other foot forward. Adjust the leg behind you. How far back do you want to take it on this side? And let's make some movement. Forward and back. Bending and straightening on that front knee. Hands can stay down or feel free to try coming up. Those hands on the hips. Good. Hands back down into the chair. Now this time we're going to step back a little further with those feet. We're going to see if we can make a plank position. This is a strength building pose, right? Requires strong push through the arms, holding the body stiff and straight. So the belly, the back muscles, the thigh muscles, and the glute muscles, all of those things we want them to be active. So really press your thighs back, push the chair away, hold the belly in, keep breathing. All right, now we'll try to push the hips back. The feet might be able to stay where they are, or you might need to walk them in a little bit. Just see if you can stretch long through the arms and the spine. It's a good idea to let your knees bend a little bit here so you're a little softer there for the back. One more breath. And then walk it in, We're going to come all the way up to standing. Roll those shoulders a few times. All right, now just standing tall, feet a little bit apart. Push into those feet and get a nice mountain stance, a mountain pose. So standing at attention all the way up through the crown of the head. Now let's take those arms up and down. And I'm going to add a little something here that's challenging. You might try coming up on your tiptoes and then back down. Now, if this is a big challenge for your balance, feel free to use your chair or your wall and maybe put one fingertip on the chair or a whole hand holding the chair. But see if you can do any amount of lifting one arm or both arms up on the tiptoes. You can help yourself with the balance by finding something to focus your eyes on. So find a point in your space that you can really zero in your eyes, your focus, your vision. Do 3 more. One more. And then just pause. If those shoulders a little roll. Now, I'm going to use the back of the chair, the taller part of the chair for this next one, just to have something to touch as needed. But you'll have the option to take your hands off the chair as well. So let's do the same sort of lunge stance that we did a moment ago. 1 foot forward with the knee bent, the other leg back. That leg is straight, and we want to squeeze that back glute. All right. Now, we're going to do just a few things with the arms. We're going to reach up, circle, see if we can look back in that direction. Bring it back to the chair, or you could be using your hips. Take the other arm up, turn, circle it around behind you, and then back to the chair. Let's do that again. So you may notice that one side feels different than the other because we've got the legs in different positions. So you might be able to, turn a little further on the open side and a little less on the closed side. One more time. Now let's face forward and see if we can bring both arms up. They could be wide or even in goalpost position. Just lift up through the chest, push down into the feet. Just get a good stretch, lift up towards the ceiling. And then release those arms. Step in, take a little pause here. Just for a moment, stand in mountain pose. Feel the feet push into the floor. Stand up tall all the way through the crown of the head. Good, and then let's take it the other way. This stance, by the way, we could call it Warrior One. I think I referred to it as a lunge type stance a moment ago. Both are correct. Front knee bent, stepping that back leg back and getting a squeeze there in the glutes. And up nice and tall. You're touching the chair as needed. And we're going to do one arm at a time, allowing a bit of a turn of the body, trying to sort of follow that arm. One more each side. Now face forward and see about both arms coming up. Getting that lift up in the front. There may even be a little element of a back bend here if that's comfortable. But we do want to have an engaged, lifted abdomen. Squeeze the glutes. One more breath. And then drop the hands down, step it in. Again, take another little pause. Stand in mountain pose. Just notice how you're feeling. All right, now let's stay here behind the chair. Use it for a little bit of support. We're going to go ahead and do a little balance work. We're going to work with tree pose, which some of you may know or have heard of from yoga practice, but we're going to do it a little dynamic to start with, right? So I want you to shift your weight, let's say into your left leg. You're touching the chair as much or whenever needed. You're going to pick up that left foot off the ground, and I just want you to see if you can turn the knee out and then turn the knee forward. And just practice moving that right knee, that right leg, like it was a door or a gate, sort of swinging open, swinging closed, swinging open, swinging closed. 2 more times. You may notice that standing leg, that left foot and ankle getting a little tired. All right, bring that foot down, just kind of march in place. Move some blood through your feet. All right, we're going to do that much, the opening, closing sort of tree pose on the other side. So stand on your right leg. Pick up that left knee in front. Again, you might be touching. You might be trying to let go. Now let's open and close that left knee. Turn it out to the side. Bring it back to the front. Now you can touch the floor at any time with that foot as well. And 2 more. All right, good. Take a little break. Walk it out. All right, now let's try to do that tree pose and hold. So back to weight on the left leg, pick up the right, turn it out, and then see where do you want to put that foot? Is it down almost or even touching the ground, right on the ankle, up on the calf, maybe even up into the thigh? You may have to reach down and help that foot up there. So any of those places is good. If you do find putting your foot on your knee seems like the right place, that's not a problem as long as you don't push your knee to the side, right? As long as you hug your standing leg in, then you make it nice and solid. Now maybe you bring your hands off the chair. You can put them at your heart. Again, remember that focal point. Your gaze on one spot will help. If you feel like you're okay letting go, not holding on, you might stretch the arms overhead or out to the side. And then let's release. Arms can come down, walk it out. Let's do the other side. Stand on that right leg, turn the left knee out, see where you want to place that foot. Hug that standing leg hip in, sort of push the foot and the leg together. And then maybe you're keeping a touch on the chair. Maybe you're going down to 1 finger. Find the right amount of challenge for you. You don't want it to be just super easy. You want there to be some need for your body to respond and react to keep its balance. Good. 1 or 2 more breaths here. All right, and release. All right, take the arms down, walk it out. Let's just do one last stretch before we sit back down and do some stretches there. So turn back again to the back of the chair. Try to take a pretty long step back if you can, and then just lean forward. We're pushing that back heel down, trying to get a stretch on that calf, and you can, lean in with bent elbows or even prop your elbows on the chair. Good. And then let's switch sides, stretching the other calf. Push that heel down, taking a pretty generous step back there, leaning into the chair so you're nice and forward, sort of streamlining the angles of your body. Good. And then come on back in. Well, let's go ahead and return to seated in the chair here. All right. So let's start with stretching the backs of the legs a little bit. Take one foot out. You can put your heel down on the ground. If you're a little more flexible, actually putting your heel like up on a box or a stool or a yoga block, if you happen to have them, will just give you a little more stretch. Okay, if your hamstrings are tight, you won't need that. Just put the foot out, toes up, maybe lean into it. You want to keep your spine nice and straight though, not rounding. Okay, because rounding will take the stretch a little bit away from the back of the leg. All right, let's take a couple more breaths here. Okay, and then bring it back up. Let's take it to the other side. Heel out, toes up. Again, maybe you're up higher on something. Sit tall, lean in. Good. And then sit back up tall. Now let's cross one ankle over to the thigh or the knee. Okay, that's one position, one option. You could also cross your ankle below the knee on the shin or on the ankle or on the other foot. We're getting some amount of turnout. It's kind of like the tree pose, right? With that turn out. All right, sit up tall. This helps us stretch and mobilize our hip. Feel free to move in and out of it a little bit if you want, or to hold steady when you find a stretch that feels good and is in your sort of outer hip, your glute, the back of your thigh. Good. Keep breathing, of course. All right, let's switch sides with that. Cross over to the other side. So cross maybe at the ankle or the shin or up on the knee. You could also cross to like that block or box or stool that I mentioned. You know, sometimes crossing to that kind of setup works well. Sit up tall. Again, you have some options here. You might want to explore sort of rocking or moving in and out of it. Or you may want to find a sweet spot and stay there. Good. Taking a couple more breaths here, slowing that breath down. Good. And then let's sit tall again. Let's do our cooling breath 3 more times here to finish because I got at least kind of warm just doing all that stuff. So we'll do this cooling breath, sucking, pulling the breath across the tongue slowly, and then exhaling through the nose. We'll do it 3 times. Give it a try. One more. And just pause, maybe with the eyes closed. See if you can feel the coolness on your tongue. Check in with the rest of your body after our little session of movement. See how things feel. And then eyes open, bring the hands up to your heart for a gesture of gratitude. And we are thankful for our opportunities to practice with you and thankful for AARP of Alabama for giving us this opportunity. Keep yourselves cool out there, you guys. Take care with the heat and join us again next Tuesday for Mindful Movement.
Thank you so much, Becca. We're going to look forward to that. Thank you so very much. And we want everyone to please remember to take our survey that we have because we'd love to know what you think about our program. Thank you so much. And we'll see you again with Mindful Movement of Alabama. Bye.
Stay cool, Margie.
Stay cool.